Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. Today I have with me Jarrid Williams, somebody who is seemingly a relative. I don't know, maybe if we go back far enough. So we've got the same last name, which is cool. So Jarrid Williams, offensive lineman from Miami Hurricanes. So nice to have you on, sir.
I appreciate it.
So obviously, you've had a little bit of a journey, not so much of one, but I mean, you did start there at Houston, and you were one of these guys who we actually invited out to the Hula Bowl. Really wanted to see you out there and showcase your abilities, which we felt like you did a good job of that. But before we kind of get talking about those things, give us a bit of your background. Tell me maybe where you're from and how you ultimately got there to be a Hurricane.
Okay. Well, I grew up in Cedar Hill and I played at Cedar Hill High School. We were a 5A team and then we turned into 6A team, Division two. Uh, my junior and senior year, we won back-to-back state champs.
Nice.
And yep. And then turn around as far as recruiting for me, U of H was the only person who was recruiting me in Kansas State. But, I got recruited by a few other schools and the U of H was like my main school. I came out, I was a two-star, uh, didn't really get a lot of looks, but, U of H really brought me under their wing and committed there, played under Tom Herman and Major Applewhite and Dana Hogerson and had about 5 offensive line coaches at that time. And then it was a good experience as far as, my last coach there before he went to Florida State. He had helped me a lot, helped out my game a lot. That's why I got a lot of looks when I came out in the portal at U of H because that 2019 year, I got hurt. I had a high ankle sprain the first game, and then I played 4 games as much as I could. But I thought I had missed the window to a medical red shirt. But, compliance helped me out and told me that I could still do it, apply for the waiver. And then when it came to that spring ball started early. So I was in there for about 2 weeks before, COVID came and I got in the portal. So I got in the portal in that spring, looked at a few places. I wanted to go to a place that had a good defense, had a good offense, and a good quarterback. And, I narrowed it down to I had a top 4. And I knew defensively Coach Manny Diaz was going to be great. And I knew one of the transfers coming in was Quincy Roche. I knew what he did at Temple. And I had a feeling what Jalen Fields was going to do for the year too. So defensively, I knew we were going to be great. And offensively, we had Rhett Lash at OC, and he was great at SMU. And then we had Dier coming in quarterback too. So I knew Miami would be a great place for me.
Yeah, I mean, really, if we look at both programs there, I mean, Houston and Miami, I mean, obviously, very historic programs. I mean, if you look back
Mm-hmm.
on them, and guys that I know either alongside you on the offensive line, or even opposite you that you played there, as throughout like practice. I mean, you are practicing against. Some of the better guys in all of college football. So I mean, it's really kind of sweet to be able to be a part of those programs and get yourself to where you are today. Um, so let's kind of look at you as an athlete, just sort of overall, if you don't mind. I mean, let's start from the beginning, dude. Let's go back even to like high school. So obviously you're offensive lineman, but I mean, have you ever done like any other position or like even played any other sport?
So going back to high school, all I did was, I played football and I was throwing in track and field, I threw shot and disc. More like in high school, they wanted you to play one sport. 'Cause most of the coaches, were some basketball and baseball coaches, but
Sure.
uh, they knew what my sport was going to be. So I focused on conditioning in the off season and track and field. So that's all I played. And then, we don't play both sides. My school we only played one position.
Sure. So, obviously, an offensive lineman, at least per my notes, you had played, I want to say, right tackle over the past couple of seasons. Have you always played right tackle? I mean, where have you played along that offensive line?
Yes, sir. So in high school, I played right tackle because they're like a left-handed quarterback. So it was natural for me to play right tackle, at Houston. But at Houston, um, like 2017, I was playing a little bit of left too. I probably have about 5 games at
Hmm.
playing left at Houston. It felt real natural, but yeah, I can play both.
So, I know when we were looking at you as a possible guy to come in at the Hula Bowl, I mean, we kind of felt like you could possibly play a couple of different positions. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we really, we're kind of sold on you from the get go. What do you think separates you as a prospect in this year's draft? I mean, what do you feel is the best thing you got going for you?
I know that I can play multiple positions. I can play left, right tackle, and I can also play guard too. I kind of showed that in the last ball All Star game at the NFLPA, and I did pretty well there too. So I feel like I can play at least 2 positions.
Cool. So when we're looking at like I don't know, as a guy who I know he's been a fan for a long time, like who are you looking at in the pros, man? Like who are you trying to maybe model your game after, or who are you a big fan of at the next level?
Tyron Smith, definitely. Teron Armstead, he's with the Dolphins now. He's with the Saints for a little while. Those two mainly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I kind of felt like you were going to mention one of the Cowboys there, since you're, kind of from that area, which is okay, at least a little bit, and I can certainly respect that. So, definitely understand that. I mean, obviously, one of the best in the game, in Tyron Smith. So, um,
Definitely.
again, we obviously really wanted you at our event. I wanted to kind of give you at least a little tidbit as to what some of our scouts had to say about you.
Okay.
Hear this if you don't mind. This is from two of our guys, Mr. Mike Bay and Mr. Blake Moore. They wrote this up for us prior to the Hula Bowl. So
Okay.
they said possesses good size. Obviously, I mean, we're looking at a guy who's about what 6'6", 312 pounds, something like that. Some very long arms, which is great. It really, goes well, for a guy at your size, of course. Um, and says here again, elite arm length and a powerful build, has above average athletic ability, is showing that quickness and agility, which enables him to get to the right spot when blocking at the second level, having a good change of direction to react to stunts and twists, and average explosiveness and balance. So shows above average ability in pass pro while setting up vertically. And then, of course, they just kind of went on and on to say things like uses his excellent arm length to strike first, and really showing good use of hands. When obviously you're in that fighting game there. And then one of our guys, who was one of the coaches at the Hula Bowl, his name's Dave Van Nett. He had to say this about you. He basically said, uh, just off the snap, has a great punch, very violent and on target, responds and also responds well to coaches, which I feel like that really helps. He said that you
Uh,
responded well to coaching, and really has the athletic ability to play either spot of those tackles. So we feel that you are a guy who could have been a left tackle or a right tackle in our game. So how do you
Definitely.
feel getting those? I guess that evaluation overall.
It feels great, to know that people can see that I can have that athletic ability to play left or right, even though, I only played a certain amount of games at left. But, I hope to show that I can one day play both.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously that's going to open up doors. I mean, for a guy that we sort of feel has that ability to play left and right, and even like you said, move into in play some guard if necessary. Let's
Mhm.
chat a little bit about your experience at the Hula Bowl, if you don't mind. I mean, obviously
Okay.
played alongside some great talent there. built some relationships, had a chance to sit down and do some interviews. Uh, Let me in on like just kind of your experience overall with the Hula Bowl. So hit me with that.
It was great. I didn't know what to expect coming in, but it was great like orchestrated as far as talking to scouts, doing testing as far as I didn't there was gonna be that many scouts too, and me talking to that many scouts and just getting my name out there, it helped me out so much. And overall, practice as well. Practice was intense, but it was fun though at the end of the day. And you know, being out there with guys that we all have the same mission, as far as getting drafted and playing in the NFL for a pretty long time. Um, it was fun getting after with all the guys.
And then like with regards to those interviews, like how do those interviews go overall? Like sitting down with the pro scouts, man.
Uh, it's cool. Some of them know information. Well, most of them know information. They just want to know basically if you're going to tell the truth. And it's crazy to hear like some of the information that they relay to you. It's actually interesting to see like how much information that they dig as far as the way back in your past and just bring it up. But for the most part, it's a different process, but it was fun though. So
Yeah, man, they dig deep, man. Like they go back to like your middle school like English teacher or something and figure out
yeah,
what you did back then. So I
all the way
definitely
back
know
to high
that
school.
they really try and get as much info from you as possible. So
Exactly.
I do know that you also got the invite to the NFLPA Bowl as well.
Hmm.
Did you get that invite while during the week at our game or what like prior to that?
No, I got it during. I probably got it the third day I was out there.
Cool. So obviously, ended up making your way out there. I mean, some scouts really wanted to see more of you, obviously. So, how did things work with you out there?
Out there, I basically studied tackle leading up into practice, but I was asked to play guard, which was fine. Uh, you know, uh, it was different, but honestly, with it being a week, it was honestly okay. I played very well at guard, and that definitely showcased for a lot of scouts to see.
Cool. And then eventually you headed to your pro day. I feel like you did, a decent job out there as well. Chat with me a little bit about your experience there at your pro day.
It was cool. It was intense, seeing the guys back from everybody who was training at different places. Um, it was cool. Whenever we went to bench, that was kind of an issue for me because in the middle of it, I strained my pec. So, it kind of hampered me on a few things, but, I finished it out though.
Well, I mean, I know, like when you were doing some of the other drills, like I felt like you did a pretty decent job. I mean, uh, vertical was good,
Mhm.
and all the other mobility seemed fine. So, do you feel like those numbers? Were you happy with all those numbers?
I was happy with the vert. Of course, I wasn't happy with bench. My 40 time, I felt like it could have been a lot faster, but, I wasn't disappointed with the number, but I wasn't necessarily satisfied with it.
Gotcha. So, I know you weren't very, happy with your bench because I mean, couldn't finish there. But for people that maybe perhaps want some sort of insight to that number, tell me a little bit about like where you were training and what you were able to accomplish, like during your time there.
So at Exos, I trained at the Exos in Pensacola when I first started, and then a month later, or a month before pro day, yeah, I was out in Dallas's Frisco. I mean, Frisco's Exos, and for bench, I was hitting at least 28.
Hmm.
So that's why I was aiming for 30 at pro day. But at nine, it was when I had my issue.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you, I don't know, just kind of went out too strong and
Yeah.
need to kind of settle in maybe. I don't know what the situation was, but I mean I don't worry so much about you and your ability, your upper body there. Again, I do feel like you have the athleticism to do a lot and to really be a really good part of a team at any spot there on the offensive line. So let's just kind of chat about your time at just kind of playing in college, man. Like your experience there at Houston and Miami. What's going to stick with you during your time as a collegiate player? Like, is there a game or a play that is going to kind of forever be with you?
Definitely, won't forget whenever we played USF at Houston. That was kind of like my first like really big, I guess, like contributing towards playing. Was Charlie Strong was, uh, I think he was undefeated at the time. Uh, Went in there, we had a quarterback change too, so it was should have been like a lot of pressure, but I felt like I was ready for it. So we won that game down to the last second. So it was like a great feeling, going in and winning. So
Yeah. So again, a lot of these good moments for you, I believe. I mean, a lot of great coaches also that have kind of poured into you over the years. Like, is there maybe a lesson from one of those coaches that still sticks with you, like either a position coach or head coach, or even if we go so far back as to like your time in high school? So, which one of those lessons stick with you?
um, probably my offensive line coach, Randy Clements, because he's put so many people as far as in the NFL. They always come back to U of H, and they're always like asking to like help them like work out, trying to get better. So it's just like seeing like pros coming back asking for help. It's very different. It's just like he wants to be a pro, and he wants to be better. It's just like for him to come back and do all that. It just shows a lot.
Cool. Let's take a second, man. I mean, I want to kind of step aside a little bit and meet who this Jarrid Williams guy is outside of the game. So, tell me a little bit about yourself that maybe not everybody knows. Something interesting, fun, unique, however you want to spin it. Hobbies, interests, or passions. A little something about yourself, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm the only child. Can't say that. And hobby, you could say I like to bowl. I almost bowled 300, close. I
Okay,
was
that's
two
nice.
frames away. 2 frames away.
Nice. So you like
Yeah.
if you do like a bowling night or something with the team that obviously people want you on their on their
Oh,
team like if
definitely,
y'all go out. So that's
definitely.
cool. So I was going to ask you a couple questions just for fun. Let's see. Obviously, your ideal job is going to be to go out there and play the NFL, play football. If football wasn't an option, where might your profession? What might your profession be? Like, what would you get yourself into?
I want to go back to Miami to go to PT school. That's the goal. I've already been talking to a few. Well, we have like a PT on staff, so he's told me basically like he would put me like in the right guidance to achieve that.
Nice. So, I mean, being a personal trainer is not a bad gig. So, I mean, you get out there and
Physical
a
therapy.
physical therapist. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you can, help so many people in that. I mean, with a lot of different sports, even in like, you know, the regular Joe schmoes like me that injure themselves like moving stuff. It's just we
exactly.
definitely need guys like you, to help us along for sure. So, um, also, I was just going to ask you, when you do get to the NFL, I mean, you would have the potential, obviously, to give back to your community. Have you ever thought about perhaps like a charity or a cause that you might put your time and effort into?
Yes, I've definitely thought about that. What I want to do is start basically. I'm pretty sure it was Deshaun Watson has like a foundation for it. I'm pretty sure, but basically, like giving back to like single mothers, and because I know growing up, how it's like to for my mom. Like I've seen her struggles and stuff like that with just me. So I couldn't imagine, um, another mother with multiple kids, like what she's going through, trying to make ends meet. So I would love to give back in that way and help out, and
Nice. I mean,
really like in
obviously,
the housing. Yeah.
okay. I mean, that's a neat thing to give back to. I mean, I know that a lot of people really need some assistance in that matter, I mean, it's a real deal. So I think that would be a kind of a cool thing for you to, put some time and effort into for sure. So sounds cool. Um, uh, let's go ahead, man. I mean, I want to try and wrap things up a little bit. I mean, again, I know that there's a lot of scouts that are very curious about you. That I feel like you are going to get your shot at the next level at some teams. I know there are teams that love you, maybe even want to draft you. So I want you to take a moment and give them your pitch. Tell them why they need to take a chance on you and draft you, and what you'd be bringing to their franchise if they did. So go ahead and hit them with your pitch.
Okay. Well, like I said before, I bring value as far as playing guard or tackle, and I can always learn more at guard, and I feel like I'm very developing at that. And you can see from NFLPA, you can watch that game and see how I performed. Also, I bring maturity because I'm like one of the older guys in the draft, and there's a lot of younger guys, so you won't have to worry about anything as far as like issues or anything like that off the field. But yes, but from an offensive line perspective, I bring both guard and tackle, so that's what I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I can't reiterate that much more, except for a fact that obviously, like you said, maturity is key. I mean, if we don't have to worry about you off the field, I mean that's a great thing. So I mean, that certainly helps. And again, we felt like you have the athletic talent to really be moved along that offensive line, and you would make a great addition to someone at the very least on their depth chart because I mean we could put you almost anywhere, like in a pinch for sure. I mean, like you said at the NFLPA, I mean, being pushed in a little bit to a guard is fine, but we felt like you could have been a left tackle or even a right tackle, which I know you have a lot of experience doing that. And dude, I feel like you've really put together some solid tape for people to go back and watch, and someone's going
So,
to give you the opportunity for sure. So, you have any plans like for the day of the draft? I mean, anything else you got you know scheduled in the coming days?
well, for a draft, probably just me and a little bit of my family get together and watch it. But till then, I'll just be working out till then.
Awesome. Well, do wish you best of luck in this process, buddy. I mean, you are one of these guys who we might hear your name called. So, if we do, man, I mean, I'm going to be excited to just right along with you. But again, do appreciate your time for this interview. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Once again, I have with me Jarrid Williams. He's offensive lineman out of Miami Hurricanes. So definitely give him a look. Check out his film, and thanks again for watching.
Thank you.